I told him my POTS doctor, Dr. Grayson, referred me. So the first thing he says to me is, would you be willing to have a psych eval? Seriously? He says I might have developed a negative relationship with food, so this is why I'm vomiting. I assured him I did not have the negative relationship with food, but food started to have a negative relationship with me.
I'm not crazy, they're crazy.
I mentioned gastroparesis because that's a common comorbidity with EDS and POTS patients. He says we'll do a gastric emptying test, but I don't think that's it. So I said, what do you think it could be? And he says cyclical vomiting syndrome. Well, what causes that? We don't know. What treats that? We don't know. Cool. Can you tell me things you do know? Like just one thing you know.
Of course I know my name.
He also tells me that I qualify for some research to share my medical information. Agree to that. He says he'll send in his intern after the appointment so I can sign some papers. I'm telling him that I think my stomach issue is somehow related to something I'm eating, but I can't figure out what. I'm already not eating dairy. I'm already not eating gluten. I was literally living on toast, Rice Krispies, plain pasta, bananas, and oat milk.
Don't eat this, don't eat that.
He too thinks it's constipation, but luckily he's willing to prescribe a medication, Linzess, which is like a Miralax, but in pill form. I tell him Miralax doesn't work. He prescribes Linzess to me anyway.
Oh, please.
Fast forward 3 months later, he ends up putting me on something else called Motegrity because Linzess wasn't working. Isn't that weird? It's almost like I told him that would happen.
Listen to me, medical people.
The Motegrity helps motility, so it helped a little bit, but again, the Mestinon was really helping my muscles. So I wasn't feeling that much of a difference and would have these random stomach episodes, and I was losing my mind.
I will go insane and I will take you with me!
So as we're wrapping up that first appointment, I'm thinking to myself,
Oh my God, can you imagine? Not one of you is trained.
he asks, are you flexible by any chance? I said, yeah, I'm flexible. I have Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. He said, oh, you do? Wait, what? I assumed I mentioned it with the POTS, but even if I hadn't, it was written on the forms I had just filled out, on the forms I had just gone over with his nurse, on the forms that the nurse had just gone over with him. They pretend that they're reading them, but so nothing has changed, and I decide to take matters into my own hands.
So, yeah, I'm gonna do it by myself.
To reach out to a nutritionist. My nutritionist's name is Stephanie Haber, and she's in Cambridge with a practice called Dear Nutrition. So after a few weeks, she says, let's try and add in another cereal other than Rice Krispies. The cereal I choose is Chex Mix, but with cinnamon and sugar. So I just try a serving. The next day, I seem to be okay. Next day, I may have eaten almost the whole box, but in my defense, it was like a breakfast, lunch, and dinner kind of thing. So the next day after that, I wake up and good God.
Holy shit! Where's the Tylenol?
Apparently I can tolerate a little Chex cereal, but no more than a cup. I have an appointment with Stephanie, and I tell her about this, and she's like, yeah, if you're gonna be sensitive to something, you'll be sensitive to a little bit or a lot. So I said to her, I think I've had an epiphany. I think I have problems when I eat too much fat. Did you know that Chex cereal with cinnamon and sugar has 4 grams of fat in each serving?
I didn't know.
she says, well, that sounds like bile acid malabsorption, and that can be fixed with medication. I'm sorry, what?
You want to kiss me? You want to hug me?
Thank God I went to see her.
Thank God, thank God, thank God.
She literally knew more than all my doctors combined. She had other patients who had EDS and POTS and bile acid malabsorption, so these were common comorbidities that grouped together. So after I learned this information, I call my gastroenterologist, say I have great news, I have this great nutritionist, she thinks I could have this, I'd love to start the medication. The office had just canceled a July appointment on me because the doctor was going on vacation. So I said, okay, well, I can take any cancellation now because I can't work. We have October 3rd. October?
This is a house of learned doctors.
You're not a doctor. You're a big, fat, curly-headed fuck.
I've had it. So I go to my PCP office. I actually can only have an appointment with a nurse practitioner. I tell her what's been happening and, that recently my ass was blowing off and it didn't seem like there was any stopping in sight. And she says, I can put you on an anti-diarrhea medication.
Everything will be fine.
I'm gonna say no, only because I'm already on a medication for constipation. So it just kind of cross cancels each other kind of thing.
Congratulations, you're stupid in 3 languages.
Does that make sense?
Yes, it does.
Finally, the nurse practitioner calls over to the gastroenterologist's office to talk to their nurse practitioner and decide I could start this medication.
Next time you want to bullshit me, bullshit each other instead, okay? See how that feels.
I think when they went to ask approval from the doctor, a light might have gone off over his head. Because he immediately started me on the highest dose. I could eat a cookie. I could eat a hamburger. It's really hard when you're an emotional eater and you can't eat. It's super frustrating. With the bile acid malabsorption, our body can't break down fat, and then the bile doesn't get reabsorbed back into the intestine, so it just hangs out and causes havoc. I've been on Colestipol for about 3 months now, and my stomach is feeling awesome.
Feel relaxed and I'm ready to party.
This is one of the reasons I wanted to do these, to get more information out there, because 3 gastroenterologists had no idea.
I have never heard someone say so many wrong things, one after the other, consecutively in a row.
If I hadn't kept fighting to figure it out, I'd be completely miserable.
Whatever you do, rock onwards and upwards.
For me, the medications Mestinon and Colestipol have been
Game changer.
I can't eat a whole pizza like I used to back in the day. But it's okay, because I can have a couple pieces, and I am so, so grateful for that. Going forward, each episode will focus on something different. The first one I'm going to do is going to be my experience with the tilt table test, which is the test you have to be officially diagnosed with POTS to be put on medication. Have I got a story for you? I remind you all to stay strong, never give up, because basically the whole story I just told. You're not alone, and your symptoms are very real and very debilitating. And if someone can't recognize that, find someone who will.
We have no interest in what's going on with you.
We have no idea what's, because she means no idea.
Hang in there, guys. Gentle hugs. See you next time.